So, way, way back up high in the high desert where hardly anybody goes, there's a guy who lives out there by himself. You know, a lot of people don't believe this story, but I can guarantee it's true. So this guy lived out there, and like I said, and how he made his living was he gathered these very precious blue stones. And story tells it that certain rocks, pretty big rocks, I guess they're talking about, on particular nights where the moon is full, and this doesn't happen not every full moon, but some other things got to be in alignment and so forth. And on these nights, these large, kind of ordinary looking rocks would weep out, drop by drop, these blue stones. You know, some big, some small, it all depended. And then in that cold, full moonlight, these exudates, you might call them, would harden into these fantastic blue gems. Now think about these gems that most people didn't even believe they existed, right? Just a fairy tale. But the guy, he didn't care about that. He didn't care that most people didn't think they existed. He would gather them up carefully, you know. And like out in the desert, everything is precious. And so he would gather enough of these soft leaves off a certain plant that grew to the west of his cabin. And in these soft leaves, he would carry them in a bag with him, and he would wrap up these blue stones. I mean, he felt bad in a way, but in other ways, he felt like it was a fair trade. You know, it's like they obviously didn't want those blue stones, or they wouldn't have, you know, exuded them, right? And they gave him a way of making a living, because he'd take that bag of these beautiful, gorgeous blue stones to this jeweler in the nearest town, small town. And the jeweler, he didn't know whether the stones existed or not, but they were really gorgeous, and he just couldn't wait to get his hands on them. But he was a fair man. And so he paid a price for these gems that, well, really, it made everybody happy. It was enough for, you know, for the guy to live out in the high desert for a very long time, and, you know, at least to the standard to which he had become accustomed. Well, so the guy grabs his, you know, he made a few attempts, because he just had to craft a setting for these, one of the blue stones, one of the minor blue stones. And he liked it, you know, it was his own work, but he realized that you know, his craft wasn't up to the standards that these beautiful, gorgeous blue stones set just by existing, or even not existing. And so he packed up a bag, some food, some dried food, some clothes. His wife made a sandwich for him, and the precious gems in the bottom of his valise. And he tried to look like he didn't have anything precious in his valise, but it was pretty hard not to. But luck was with him, and he made the voyage on a friend's donkey all the way to the big city, where he figured he must be able to find a jeweler whose skill levels matched the powerful essence that these stones had, whether or not they existed.